Hey everyone, welcome to Murphy's Law Garage. Today we begin our fun project. I know we've done plenty of things to the S650 Ecoboost Mustang, and Steeda's been waiting a long time for us to shoot this, but hear us out. The Mustang had issues that were beyond our control, and it had to go to the dealership. We won't go into that a whole bunch of times to get some warranty work done. And then we've since tuned the car, etc., etc. We needed to make sure we were in a nice, stable place before we started testing these things so that other things about the Ecoboost wouldn't change. What do I mean? Well, a good example of that, as y'all know, is we installed an intercooler on the Ecoboost Mustang, and that was important. Why? Because without it, it would overheat its IATs almost immediately, even during the first round of testing, and then lose power. And we can't have it do that. We need it to remain consistent during testing, so we had to put a big intercooler on it. And like I said, we had other issues. Let's just say we had a transmission issue, we had an oil leak, etc. Those things have been fixed. We already know, y'all have seen before, but we're going to show you, we've got Steeda's Trident wheels on it, which are gangster.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Jacob's holding the camera right now. And then also we've got MBRP's exhaust on it. We've got CV Fab's big giant intercooler. The car may or may not have lost its kitties at some point. A good bit has been done. But I guess you're wondering, what are we doing now? So I'm going to launch this video in two phases. Right? So there's going to be phase 1 and phase 2. You're currently watching phase 1. What is involved in phase 1? Well, obviously we've already put Steeda's wheels and tires on the car, which are a huge improvement. Some of you may have wanted to know, well, what was the difference before and after? Tires make such an enormous difference to a platform that it's really not something you can one-to-one compare with stock wheels and stock tires. The stock tires were so bad that there was no way we could get consistent results. And of course, going from a, what was it, a 245?
A 235.
A 235 to now, what is it?
305.
305 and a 285. There was going to be an enormous difference in traction. So, like I tell many people, one of the best things you can do, and this is pretty well shared through the racing community, if you want a car to do better, doing nothing more than lightweight forged wheels and some really sticky, big, good tires make an enormous difference in a car's capabilities. So we've done already that to level a playing field, and we've done some testing to show you what the car is capable of stock with just big wheels and tires. So the very first thing I'm going to do is show you what it looks like stock. And we're going to refer back to that stock number a good bit as we go through. But y'all check out what we managed to do with the stock Ecoboost and Steeda's giant Trident wheels, those beautiful sticky tires. It was pretty wild. I'm a brave guy. I drive cars hard. That car scares me how hard it lets you lean in. So check this out. Hey everyone, sorry to interrupt that awesome video that you're watching, but I need to take a minute to talk about our channel sponsor, CarLock. I don't know if you know this, but approximately every 3 seconds in the US, a vehicle is stolen. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be part of that statistic, and CarLock is here to help you not become part of that statistic. How? Well, they sell a both OBD2 and hardwired version of a GPS tracking device that is 4G LTE enabled. Oh, but wait, there's more. It sends real-time notifications to your smartphone to say things like, hey, vibration has been detected. The door has been opened. Hey, your device has been disconnected. Someone's trying to steal it. Oh no, your engine has started. And even worse, your vehicle is now in motion and you didn't do it. And having those types of notifications for my project cars give me serious peace of mind. And they will for you too. Now, they also sell extension cables and splitters if you want to hide your OBD2 device under the dash, as well as extra sensors to increase your level of security if you so choose to. And for a short time, you're going to get a discount on your device. Well, down below, I'm going to have a code. First code is going to be for 10% off of CarLock's Amazon store. Second code is going to be for 14 free days of service. Y'all go check that out. Thank you very much, CarLock, for sponsoring this video here today. Y'all pick one up to help support the channel. Let's get back to the video. So, as you can see, I was a little scared. The car produces a ton of G-force on a turn-in. We recorded it, as you saw there, it's over 1G, which is impressive for what is nothing more than a base model Ecoboost. It is an economy car with sticky tires and wide rims on it.
The cheapest version of the Mustang you could get.
The cheapest version of the Ecoboost you can get. It is stripped. It's got nothing. It's got heated seats. Jacob likes to remind me of that all the time because my GT doesn't. It was pretty wild. And part of what made me a little scared is that the car is pretty numb. So it clearly has a ton of traction and you feel it and it's very confident. But it's hard to feel it in the steering wheel and in the brake pedal because there's too much rubber. There's too much disconnect. It's got a factory alignment on it. So we need to fix that. How are we going to fix that? Well, again, phase one. What is phase one? We have Steeda's progressive handling springs. This is from their HDPE kit. So these are their progressive springs. We're also going to do Steeda's vertical links. Beautiful.
Zoom in on that because it looks so good.
They're so gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. We have Steeda's alignment dowels. So what these do is they align the subframe. They force it to center. We have Steeda's subframe bushing lockout system. This helps keep the subframe from shifting and moving around. So these, they go together. We have Steeda, again, as part of their HDPE kit. This is their Pro Action struts and shocks. They are adjustable. Oh, you can adjust how stiff they are. So I know for Jacob, that's going to be near full stiff, knowing him. Lastly, for phase one, we have their adjustable toe arms. So this removes a ton of rubber movement out of the end of the toe arm and allows for on-car adjustability, which the alignment guys will love. So Jacob, turn around. We've got a stack of Steeda stuff over here as well. This sway bars and braces and all kinds of fun stuff. So that, my friends, that's phase two. So how this is going to work is you're going to see videos that say phase one, part 2, part 3. That'll be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. That'll be phase one. And what we're going to do, the reason why we're doing this first as a phase one is these things are alignment affecting. When you put these dowels in, the subframe has to be shifted around, alignment affecting. To get the rear springs in, and this is going to lower the car a bit, alignment affecting. These subframe braces technically aren't alignment affecting, though generally it's recommended that you get an alignment after these things. It's not necessary at all. Just because whenever you lock the subframe out and stiffen everything up, there could be some movement. It's fine. In my opinion, I don't know what Steeda's is, but I can tell you in my opinion, if you're just doing this, you don't need an alignment. Because we're affecting the subframe with all of this stuff, we're going to go ahead and do an alignment. So these are also technically not alignment affecting. Technically, and let me explain to you why they may be. If your car has some mileage on it, like Jake's car does, and those rubber bushings have begun to break down, and a car has had an alignment on those rubber bushings, right? As those things age, it changes the positionality of the rear suspension. If you put these nice stiff ones in that center everything back up where it's supposed to be, guess what? It's alignment affecting. So we're going to treat all of this as alignment affecting, and that'll be phase one. Once we've got all of these parts installed, the last video, part 6, or however the heck I arrange this, is going to be phase one testing. So we're going to bring you back for a video where it's going to be dedicated to how much harder does the car brake and how much more G-force does it produce during a turn. That'll be the end of phase one. And then we'll bring you back for phase two, where we go through all of the sway bars and braces, etc., etc. We also have diff support stuff that's not alignment affecting. And then we'll do the same thing, phase two, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And then the final testing results. So Steeda has sponsored this video. They've given us a great pricing on this entire kit of stuff, all of the HDPE stuff. So we thank them significantly for being here with Murphy's Law Garage for all of this epic Ecoboost stuff. We know that there's a lot of you Ecoboost guys out there that are really proud of your cars. You love them. We love you too. We love your car. It doesn't always need to be an 800 horsepower Mustang GT that scares the pants off everybody. There's something to be said for a car that has a really good power balance and does really well around a turn. Hell, Vaughn Glitton Jr. himself is a big fan, the RTR stuff, of the Ecoboost cars. That's why their production RTR car is an Ecoboost car. So here we are. We're going to make it hardcore. So with all of that being said, the very first thing we're going to do for the Phase 1 video, Phase 1 Part 1, is we're going to go ahead and do the suspension. It's probably the bit that's got Jacob most excited because the car is 4x4 status right now.
So bad. It's so bad.
And in my opinion, this is going to provide the biggest improvement, other than the sway bars, to the handling and braking performance of the car.